Notes for my June 2024 reading of a 2006 autobiography of John Leguizamo. Okay, here's the book. 2006, it was still on the shelves at the library as one of the older books to make it through. I started reading this on Sunday, 9 June 2024, and I finished it today, Wednesday, 12 June 2024. So 4 days. It's 280 pages, so average 70 pages a day, which is pretty good for me anyway. And let's see, so it's a library book. I checked it out on Wednesday, maybe the 5th, Wednesday, 5 June 2024. It took me a few days to start it. I finished a different autobiography. And it's full book number 21 for me for the 2024 year. So for me, that's pretty good. And the title is Pimps, Hoes, Playa Hatas, and All the Rest of My Hollywood Friends. It's by John Leguizamo. 2006 HarperCollins First edition hardcover. I'll put the ISBN in the video description. It is an autobiography / memoir of an actor and writer. This is, I think, the first one where he wrote 3 plays and turned them into full productions and performed them and stuff like that. And he very much emphasizes and kind of backs up the, like, he is a writer. In addition to this book, right, he did plays that were turned into full-scale productions and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, that, it's publishing a book, or some person wrote that's being an author, but it's not synonymous with being a writer. So this is kind of the first person where I would say that I've covered this far, that I can recall, that it stands out as, like, well, a writer was their career, right? There would have been no play if he did not write it, right? So, versus if somebody's, let's say, like a athlete or in performance sports, it might, while they wrote a book, their entire industry does not function like that, right? Kind of thing. So there we go. So I thought about that a bit. He fits the description as an actor and a writer, for me, personally. And I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. So book notes. I liked the book. There was not so much paragraphs breaks in the chapters as some of the other books. There was some, but not very much. The spacing, the text was a good size, not too big, not too small. Spacing, not too big, not too small. I averaged, I think, over 2 minutes per page. It was a lot of content in this book. Okay, so even though it might be like, oh, that's like a minute or a minute and a half per page, for me it was over 2 minutes. Okay, so there's a lot of content here. I liked the formatting. It was kind of more playful than a lot of the books I've read. And this chapter, or name of book, and the author name is at the top in banded style with the page numbers as well. There are pictures kind of well spaced throughout the book. I loved that, honestly. Yeah, I really love that approach a lot. Instead of having like an insert with a bunch of pictures, the pictures are placed in relation to what he's talking about, which I really love that. So A++ on that. That's something that, like, back when I was initiated, like, thinking about a book, I was like, I don't like that these are just a bunch of pictures. It feels haphazard and like an afterthought when it's all put in one clump. I don't include them or put them relevant to the text, and he does the relevant to the text. So I was like back in like 2017, 2018 now. So in that sense, I think of the books I've covered with book/reading notes, he's the first to get it right for like picture placement. Not necessarily the pictures, but like the picture placement. Though I do like the pictures that were included. So yeah. And then this is book notes including construction and design. Those are the highlights. Let's go to reading notes because I have a fair amount of that. He says in here he's not bitter. I would say he might not be bitter, but the tone of the book kind of comes across as bitter. And I'm gonna go, this is not a bad thing. Being bitter is not actually a bad thing per my definition. So I'm gonna clarify in case he does watch this, in case you're watching this. It's not meant as an insult. So let me clarify what I mean. With food, if something has a bunch of salt in it, it can turn the taste of the food bitter. Okay. There's a bunch of salt in this book against a lot of people, right? So in that sense, it's like essentially there's so much salt thrown throughout the book that I would call it bitter in tone. And I would say bitter in tone is like in this context for a tone of a book is he's done a bunch of stuff and said a bunch of stuff he can't take back. So whether or not he later hates himself for it, or not, what he said and or did, he is bitter in the sense of he does own up to that he did it. So it's actually a mature mental state. And I would say, how do I frame it as a good thing? It is the cleaned up, good version of regret. Mic drop. Okay. I don't mean any hate. Right? This is meant to be a good thing. Is being, I would say if one wanted to get out of a bitter state, I don't know if it's at all relevant for him. He's not in a bitter state, right? He says he's not. I'm just saying the tone of the book is bitter. So then there's the third type of bitter is like somebody being in a bitter state. And that's like, I would describe that based on people I've known who've been a bit bitter is like they made a mistake and they really are not happy they made that mistake, but they won't own up to the fact that it's a mistake. Or change the storyline so it was not a mistake. So it's like, kind of like a halt in maturation and becoming more mature because they can't accept it either way, kind of thing. Kind of the hate of oneself can propagate outwards in such a sense that it becomes just a bitter tone. It's the book comes across as bitter, not the person. Okay, there's a difference. It's a work product. So that's my first note. Then I'm gonna go through this. All right, first thing I tagged. Page 3, he was saving himself for marriage, in reference to his virginity. I was like, go guy. Oh, also, per the back of the book, okay, so that was page 3. Back of the book, information about the author. He was born in Colombia in 1964. Bogota. Yeah. Accent over the A. Okay, next one, page 80. Oh, he kind of gets to some of the Latino ancestry thing of the kind of throwing it at white people, like white Americans. That's right, in quote of a quote, that's right, the Spaniards were here first, unquote. Right? The Latino argument is, well, the vast majority of Latinos come from Spanish and Portuguese descent. There's also like French Guiana, so they're French, that's like France, right? The argument as to like why Latinos is a demographic matter, in addition to it's a geography argument, however, it's also like a chronology argument. I will point out here, as somebody of Scandinavian origin, ancestral origins, a fair chunk, I still think geography is the strongest argument, right? The argument is if a Latino is in America, then it's the fact, while they are Spanish or Portuguese or whatever, right, they came to America via another geography. So there was Europe, but there was another place in addition to America, whereas a lot of people go Europe or whatever continent to America, right? So it's saying that the pathway taken matters, essentially. I still think that's the strongest argument because the Spaniards were not the first here. They were the first here to colonize and conquer and kill a bunch of the Native Americans. The first people here were, or not the first, well, I don't know. But before them, centuries before them, the Scandinavians came and then they went back to Europe. Right? Or they died here. 100% the stayed, died, and the rest went back to Europe. You know, that kind of thing. So, like, that's my ancestry. We aren't the killers, right? And at least that group in my family tree. We're not the massacres of the Native Americans. We went back. So, the first argument is not a flattering one, right? They killed the people. Although it is flattering, and like people love the conquistador thing, so it's just not part of my ancestry. That kind of thing. All right, thing. So I still think the strongest one is a pathway thing, geography. Alright, I'm doing alright. Okay. Page 86, he put in Cable ACE Award. There are acronyms that are included here that I just do not know. So it's very rare, so I do applaud that he did not use a bunch of acronyms. However, he also does not define what the acronyms are. So there are a number of things in this book. So I just highlighted that one because I was like, I don't know. I really don't know what I did. I like what that is. And I used to follow movies somewhat. So just like, I'm like, something I probably should know, but don't know. Okay. Oh, I thought this is like A++ again for this one. Okay. Quote on page 144 to 145, and it's his own words. So start. And that's when I realized that jealousy and rivalry are destructive. You're just letting your insecurities get over on you and it ruins your work. Unquote. That should be like one of the greatest quotes of all time. Go man go. Okay, that was just like, I was like, yes. Okay. Anyway, so that tells you how I feel about jealousy. Okay. Anyway, page 154. He talks about what it means to be a politician, and he's like, it wasn't very politic of me. And it's essentially like, you can talk to anybody, and like put on a nice face, and then screw him from behind, kind of thing. That's kind of what he's getting at, and he's like, that's just not me, kind of thing. And I'm like, we need mean politicians, people who speak their mind, right? We could actually move forward in the world if they did that. So that was another one. Oh, what page? Sorry. Page 154. I think I said that, but okay. Anyway, next one. He's in the 30+, you guys. We got another 30+ ager. He escalates physical escalation with his soulmate at 30.00 or more years of age. He's in the 30+, like me, age category. And he uses the term soulmate repeatedly throughout the book. He does not take a swipe at the concept of soulmate. He is, thus far, of the books I have read, the golden standard for love, 30 and above, soulmate. Okay. And then, also, the best thing in life is to love or be loved in return. Sorry, I didn't provide a page number for that. It's kind of ongoing. Wait, no, it was 173. That's right. Okay. 216. He was Toulouse. You guys know Toulouse. Oh, no. I know. I'm sorry. Toulouse, France, where my soulmate Leon Marchand, Leon Leonhardi is from. So, I apologize to you, John Leguizamo, if you're watching this. The reason you had such a horrible time with Moulin Rouge, as the character Toulouse, is my Leon was getting very tampering from afar mode. He likes to be very puppet. He's like the Duke in the movie, and I'm his lady, only I say yes to him instead of the rider. So it doesn't quite go like the movie Moulin Rouge. But like, yeah. So you were, because they didn't quite do the Duke right, you were his favorite character, and he was like, he's got to make you really good impact. And so he wanted to really emphasize that you're the most important character in the movie, aside from the Duke and the lady, by making your role less so you had more of an impact per amount of screen time than anybody else, which I will agree you did. Yes, the best part of life is just to love and be loved in return. Yeah, it's something like that. That's a line from the movie, or something like that. It's a line from the Moulin Rouge. He's the guy who gets the love through. And I'm barely making it. So there we go. In conclusion, 5 out of 5 stars. Yes. Good one. Recommend. When's the next one? When's everything since this book came out? Yes. Shelf family. He's near. So mine would shelf is Leonhardi. He's Leguizamo. He's part of my shelf family. He's close to me on the shelves when shelved properly in the biography section. What?